class 9, we are left with only a small portion of chapter 4a, which is a transmission of pressure in liquids and the Pascal's law. Now, suppose you have say beaker filled with liquid. Okay? Now, say this point A and another point B. In which case pressure is more at B, because depth of the B is more than depth of A, because the height of the liquid column above B is more than that of A. Say at A the pressure is say 30 Pascal at A, and at B say it is 50 Pascal. Okay? What this difference in pressure is due to the liquid column above, extra liquid column above B, which is not there above A. Now, if I apply pressure on A, if I apply some external pressure on A, this pressure will be equally transmitted in all directions. This pressure will be equally transmitted in all directions within the liquid. That means the external pressure which you have applied on A, say now the pressure here becomes, say you have applied some extra pressure, say 20 Pascal. This 20 Pascal will be equally transmitted everywhere throughout the liquid confined. That means if here you have 50 Pascal, here you will have 70 Pascal now at B. Ultimately, the difference in pressure between A and B is same, isn't it? That means then also after you have applied some external pressure 20 Pascal on A, after that also, since the pressure gets equally transmitted in all directions within the liquid, as a result, the ultimate difference in pressure between A and B remains same. Here if you have 50, all total after applying external pressure, here you will have 70. So ultimately, difference is 20 Pascal, isn't it? What is this called? This is known as Pascal's law. Pascal's law therefore states that when pressure is applied in a confined liquid, it is transmitted in all directions in undiminished magnitude. That means equally transmitted in all directions in the confined liquid. That is Pascal's law. Let's see an example. Let's do a numerical. You will understand how it's been working. Now say this sum. A simple U tube contains mercury to the same level in both the arms. How does it look like? U tube, it looks like this. U-shaped tube. You have mercury in both the arms, equal level of mercury. Okay? Both the height of mercury is same in both the arms. If water is poured to a height of 13.6 centimeter in one arm, say in this arm I have poured some water to this height. Okay? How much will the rise in mercury level be in the other arm? Density of mercury given, density of water is given. I have copied the question. Follow this question from your books. Check whether this is in your book. If not, then you can copy the question. I want to explain this after rubbing off the question. Okay? Okay. Now, let's see what you have to do and what has been said. You have a U-shaped tube. In both the arms, these are the arms of the U-tube. Arm 1, say this is arm 1, this is arm 2. Okay? Level of mercury is same in both the arms of the U-tube. Now, say in this arm I have poured some water. Say up to this height. What is the height mentioned in the question? Water has been poured in in one arm to a height of 13.6 centimeter. Okay? Now, if I pour water, won't the height, this liquid column, exert some pressure on this mercury? Obviously, there is some extra water I am pouring. It will exert some pressure on mercury due to its weight. So, it is applying some pressure on mercury, and what is Pascal's law? This pressure is equally transmitted in all directions. As a result, due to the weight of the thrust applied by water column, that is the pressure applied, you will find the level in mercury will rise here. Mercury level will rise. This mercury level, it will rise. Okay? This is because the pressure is equally transmitted. You are applying pressure here, but you find due to when you pour some water, that water has its own thrust, it's applying some pressure on the mercury level. As a result, this pressure is equally transmitted, and this mercury level here in this U-tube, it rises. You have to find what is the rise. Say H. H, say or say H prime is the rise in the mercury level in this arm. Now, what is the pressure due to this water column in this arm? Can I write it is H rho G? What is formula? Pressure due to liquid column, H into rho into G. So, can I write pressure in this arm? Pressure in this arm, can I write H stands for depth, height of the liquid column, 13.6 centimeters. So, by 100 meter into rho. Rho is the density of water given 10 to the power 3 into G. P equal to H rho G. That is equal to, can I write H prime into density of mercury 13.6 into 10 to the power 3 into G. Isn't it? Why? Why can I write this? Due to Pascal's law. Same pressure is transmitted throughout the liquid. That's why. Now, G gets cancelled. 13.6 here and you have 13.6 here. 10. Both side 10 cube gets cancelled. You are left with 1 by 100 meter. That means 1 centimeter. So, mercury level will rise by 1 centimeter. Okay? Let's do another one. See this one. Diameter of a neck and bottom of bottle. Let us consider it's a cylindrical bottle since nothing has been mentioned. Neck, you have the diameter as 2 centimeter and bottom the diameter is 10 centimeter. So the neck diameter is 2 centimeter means radius is 1 and bottom the diameter is 10 means radius is 5 centimeter. Radius, okay, small r. Now the bottle is completely filled with oil. Fine. If the cork in the neck, say this is the cork, stopped in the neck, it is pressed in with a force. You are applying some force and pushing the cork. That means you are applying some pressure. Pressure directly is not given to you. Force is given, 1.2 kgf. What force is exerted on the bottom of the table? Don't write 1.2 kgf. Force is not equally transmitted. Pressure is equally transmitted. That means, can I find the force applied on the neck? Can I find? What will be the force applied on the neck? What is the force? Force is given, 1.2 kgf force is applied. What is the pressure applied on the neck? Can I write 1.2 by the area of the neck? Pressure is equal to thrust by area of contact. So, the neck radius is 1 centimeter that means basically circular, the neck. So can I write pi into 1 square? Now this is in centimeters, so I will have to convert it to meter. So basically it will be 1 by 100 whole square, because 1 centimeter to meter 1 by 100, and you have r square, so 1 by 100 whole square. What do you get? 1.2 by pi just goes to the numerator. Now the same pressure is transmitted to the bottom by Pascal's law. We are using the principle Pascal's law. The pressure, whatever external pressure you applied at the neck, same pressure is transmitted to the bottom. So the pressure at the bottom the pressure is same. 1.2 into 100 square by pi. Then what will be the force which you have to find? Force P into A. P into A. So 1.2 into 100 square by pi into A. What is the area of cross section now? Pi r square, but this time r is 5. So pi into 5 by 100 whole square. Okay. Now see what the calculation looks like. I am just rubbing off so I can do this calculation above. So you are getting force as 1.2 into 100 square by pi into 5 by 100 square. 5 by 100 whole square. That means 1.2 into 100 square by pi into 25 by 100 square. So, see the calculation. kgf, because, no, don't write Newton, because in the question force was given in kgf. So, in the answer unit also it will be kgf. So, have you understood the concept, what we have done? Simply nothing but the pressure is getting equally transmitted. The neck, pressure at the neck is same as the pressure at the bottom. So, we have found the pressure at the neck by applying the formula P equal to F by A, because force is given, area of cross section is given, area is not given but radius is given. So, I can find from there. Okay. So, once we have found the pressure, that same pressure goes to the bottom according to Pascal's law. So, force at the bottom is, now we know pressure, we know area of cross section, as we know the radius. How can I find the force? P into A. Okay. These are simply the numericals based on Pascal's law. Now, Pascal's law, you have few examples like applications like hydraulic machines, hydraulic brakes. Now, as this time examples are not there, so for the time being, I am not going into those examples and those numericals. So, I will decide later whether we should actually do few numericals, so that if not anything of that sort comes, then you can do. So, it's expected if you don't have applications, then you won't have numericals from hydraulic machines, etc. Okay, so for the time being, we are not doing that. So, let's skip till this.